It's dinner time. The weather, well, it's brightened up. It stopped raining. Not only did it stop raining, but the sun came out and dried the grass enough that I dared to cut the bowling green. As a bowling green, it's interesting, isn't it? What I did this morning, I went shopping and I bought all the things that I wanted, but I also spent some quality time with my friends in the builder's supplies place, and we looked at scaffold boards. And we ran into a strange problem. They actually don't stock them. They order them in for customers. They're delivered straight from the warehouse straight to the customer because they are silly expensive. Don't bother rebuilding a house using a scaffold. Just buy another house. That sort of silly expensive. Very, very nice in steel, stainless steel, and not stainless, rust free, but yeah, and aluminium. Now the aluminium ones, well, yeah, I think they're made out of spare parts for Concorde or something, or some sort of strange aluminium gold alloy. Anyway, the chap that was helping me, he's a good guy, and he got the picture. I do not want to be spending an arm and a leg for a couple of planks. So he said the best way to do it, which actually was what I already had thought, is to go out the back into the timber yard and to buy some boards. And we looked at boards, and he said, I've got these, but you would want to double these up if you use these. I've got those, but those are too thick and heavy for lugging up onto scaffolding. He said, so I think that's what you want. And I said, I agree. And I said, how much? And they're €11 a board. And I need 6 of them. That's not too scary at all. But then he said, but when you come back to buy them, don't tell me what they're for. And I looked at him, and he said, yeah, if you come in and ask me for boards for scaffolding, I cannot sell you those because they are not rated and marked and stamped, and they don't have all of the international standards and all that sort of thing. He said, if you tell me it's for scaffolding, I can't serve you. If you just come in and say 6 of those, none of my business what you do with them. And I thought, there's a funny thing. Regulations. He knows, because he actually, the last time I had a delivery, he was the driver. He knows what I'm doing. He knows that I work on me jack. He knows the type of building I'm working on. He knows the height that I'm going to be working at. It's actually not that great compared to a lot of jobs. But yeah, the regulations, if I tell him I want scaffold boards, he's got to sell me scaffold boards. If I tell him I want boards, he'll say what size. So there we are. Next week we'll invest in some boards, and then the following week we can start using the scaffolding. I am messing about painting the scaffolding, but that's sort of a vanity project. It will work fine with rust all over it. I just think it would look nicer if it was nice and shiny and new looking. But if it gets painted before I get the boards, so be it. If it doesn't, well, it doesn't. And, well, yes, it's that time of night. You know, what I should be doing, of course, is grinding all that down. Makes a horrendous row. Can't do that after 7 o'clock. That green, that's because I had a tin of paint that colour. Somewhere, oh yeah, there we are. Some of it's going to end up that colour. And what I don't get is this was €2 a tin cheaper than the bright yellow. Same size, same manufacturer, same stuff in it, just the yellow was dearer. So, no, you know me. Anyway, back to this little fella. This, if you remember, didn't work. Now it works, but it's making some awful noises. Yes, more work needed on that. What I did find though was where the little tank engine kept derailing, that joint was all over the place. So that joint has been better jointed. So let's see what happens when we put the Trix E2 no, she came off. Okay. These things are sent to try us. She didn't come off. I know she's not really content on this row. The wheel set on this engine would prefer the coarser Trying Super 4. No, we haven't cured the problem. Okay, well, I shall have to give that some more thought. But while I've got this in my hand, I thought we'd just have a little look at it. I don't remember exactly where this came from, but, you know, it's Trix. It's 2-rail. You know, it was built as 2-rail. It was never a 3-rail locomotive. And it's a sweet little thing. It has been repainted by somebody who decided it was a southern engine rather than a London, Brighton and South Coast railway engine, an LBSCR. And in English model railways, LBSCR is quite a famous set of letters. The London, Brighton and South Coast Railway. And of course an E2 is basically what Thomas the Tank Engine started life as. And people who know nothing about railways have all heard of Thomas the Tank Engine. Well, Thomas was an E2. Now, something I would like to get working is this thing, and I'm going to call it a thing because, yeah, it's, well, I don't think it was particularly very nice when it was new, but it's not been improved with age. When I got it from a brocante for not very much, it didn't work, and it had some black electrical insulating tape wrapped round it, holding it all together, as you do. And when I put power onto the axles, nothing much happened. Well, I think we can probably work out why nothing much happened. You don't have to have an engineering degree to work out that if the wires come off, it ain't going to work. So I think what I'm going to do now, I think I'm going to see if we can't work out how to glue that all back together. But you know, this is one of those I've got it so I want it to work sort of things. It's never going to be nice, is it? But I don't know how old this is. I'm guessing it's early 1960s. But we'll see what we can do. I suppose I really ought to see if this actually works. Well, nothing wrong with the motor. Nothing much wrong with the motor. This is the power pickup bogie, and it's fair to say that it's seen better days. And for the life of me, I don't know where I've got appropriate glue for this. I don't even know what sort of plastic it is. But that obviously wants bonding back together. And then we'll see if we can't glue some telephone wire onto these pickups. It's pretty basic, isn't it? Well, fortunately, the plumber hadn't gone home, and he said, let's use some of that, he said. So I've squidged some of that into the crack, squidged it together, and that seems to have done the job. This is good practice. All these things that I'd forgotten I knew how to do. Well, I never really knew how to do it, but there we are. That's 2 wires soldered in. Now what I've got to do is work out the size of them and solder the motor to them. Well, can we call that success? Sort of. Right, I'm going to pop the body back on it and yeah, see if it works. Well, how about that? They said it couldn't be done. Yeah, I'm not sure it's done yet. And it's still pretty horrible, isn't it? I don't think that's going to be pulling the Orient Express, do you? Well, we'll see, we'll see. Maybe it will improve with age, like a fine cheese. Doesn't like those points, does it? Will it go the other way? Not really, no. More work required.